Hello, 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 everybody. Welcome to my space. I'm kind of right up here, and I apologize. Anyways. Okay, distract. So, get out of here. Background music. You don't come until after the stream. So, anyways, hello Twitch, hello TikTok. Again, most. So, and I can now officially see TikTok chat because I was just being a dummy before. So, hello. There's nobody to say hello to specifically because nobody said. Whatever, it's fine. You don't have to. I appreciate lurkers. So, anyways, might be wondering if you weren't here for last week. You might be wondering, Nitro, today is Tuesday. Why the heck is this stream? Why is the stream? Why is it STEINS Get Zero? You do STEINS Get Zero on Thursday. Well, we finished Professor Layton and the Diabolical Box last week, and so instead of starting Gotcha Goshen 2, or It's Attorney Investigations 2, I should say, I made the ultimate decision just to, go ham with STEINS Get Zero until we get to the first ending. Well, that I get to, because I don't know, maybe I'll probably not, and then do everything else off camera and stuff, because I did that with the original STEINS Get Zero, and goddamn did most of those endings make me cry. So I'm glad I did not, stream the rest of those. Right? Yeah. Anyways, reminder, this Saturday is going to, so again, Thursday will be some more Steins Gate. Thursday and Saturday will be a Fall Guys training arc, because I got a tournament. I'm participating in a tournament. I am participating in Beavers next week on the 8th. So I hope you guys all can check in and root for me. I'm not planning on winning or anything. I just plan to go, have a good time, meet some new people, and it's just like, yeah. Also, I clicked the intro music, and my god, is this good! I don't know what I'm doing after stream. Anyway, sidetracking because sorry, music it can be so epic. Anyways, so I was talking about the Beavers. Yes, I will be participating in Beavers on November 8th at 11 Central. So yeah, so I do plan to probably do some Pokemon after the tournament. So just so that way I can just be like, it's gonna be, let's just say June 8th is gonna be a long day for me. I figured that because June 8th would also be that Monday, June 10th, would be the 1-year anniversary of this model, the time skip outfit, the time skip model. So it's amazing to think. It's like, holy crap! It's almost been a year since the outfit's debut. So I was like, I gotta go big, man. Now, am I gonna do a huge, crazy 12-hour stream? No. We'll save that. We'll save another, but we'll do more than just the Fall Guys tournament on the 8th. I'll probably do some Pokemon afterwards. Depends on how I'm feeling after the tournament, because that's kind of the gift. So enjoy. Saturday is gonna be an unplanned, how long. But the best part about that is, okay, so next week, so literally a week from now, Alhaesam's banner starts. Well, the 4.7 banners, but if you know me, you know I'm pulling for Alhaesam. And I've been saving up so many Primo Gems. So the idea is I'm gonna try to save after I do my main pull on the 1 week from today. I might save up everything I can, and then on the 8th after the stream, boot up Genshin, see what I can get, show you guys on the stream. Because probably by then I'll be pulling for his weapon. Anyways, I think we should just, Enjoy our STEINS gate. Enjoy our trauma. About half the seats at Go Curry were full. It was Sunday, but it was also after 2 p.m., and so the lunch was over. Shishua was sitting at the restaurant far edge, a baseball cap down pulled over her face. She was kind of hiding her face with the cap and carefully watched a couple sitting nearby. Here you are, your Major Curry! A cheerful employee who puts down silver plates, or more trays, more accurately, in front of them. Shishua could see the other customers looking at them and whispering. The couple really stood out after all. The man was a giant who looked like he ate Major Curry at all the time. The woman was slim and pretty and looked very kind. The combination of the huge man and the slim woman was unbalanced as the combination of pretty girls and Major Curry. The Major Curry was big. It was huge. Joshua knew from experience. The massive silver trays were loaded with red sting curry, topped with two fried cutlets, fried shrimp, sausage, and a boiled egg, and a mountain of cabbage. That sounds like something I would not want to eat. There's two or three much times as much curry as if you find in a normal dish, and the toppings are just as big. So no, if we would ever go here, who's splitting with me? Even a growing young boy would find it hard to eat them all. Joshua was irritated. Why are you ordering Major Curry on her first date with her, Dad? It's Taro and Yuki! The Beauty and the Beast couple that Shishi was watching. Of course, it's Taro and Yuki. In the morning, they got to see a movie in Yukiyachiroko. And then they came to Akabara and got straight to Go Curry. And Shishi had followed them the whole time. That's why she couldn't believe Daru's choice of date spot. I don't mind Go Curry at all. In fact, I like it, but this is your first date! There are other places you could have gone. Shisha, would you know where else to go? Because let's face it, cast of characters here are just a bunch of people who've never really had a dating life. I mean, you're telling this to somebody who's also never really had a dating life. I wouldn't know what to do on a first date either. I'll be real with you. I was very awkward on my first ever date. That was only like not even a year ago, man. She clutched her spoon tight and gritted her teeth. Joshua knew next thing about Japanese youth culture in 2011, and she knew it was a bad idea. Who knew what was going through Yuki's mind? Or so she thought. But wow, it's been more amazing than the pictures. Surprisingly, Yuki was ignoring the people around her and innocently enjoying the huge curry. Amishi, if you can't eat it all, I'll finish it for you, okay? Okay, thanks! But I'm actually pretty good at this. Yeah? That's a surprise. Maybe you shouldn't eat so much curry? I actually would always just come and look at the menu outside. I always wanted to try this. I'm glad you brought me here. I'm glad to hear that. Aw, he's so awkward. Oh, it's adorable. But let's not forget that he is a pervert. She was evidently worried over nothing, but she still realized that Dario was acting strangely. Ever since he came out of the movie theater, he was walking and talking strangely. Instead of his usually hunched posture, he was forcing himself to stand up straight. Oh my gosh, dude's trying too hard. We know what trying too hard on a date gets ya. Just a bunch of awkwardness. Isn't that right, Okurin? We're talking about the time, in the game when Okurin took female Lucra. It was in that world line on a date, and then it just became very awkward. His every movement seemed oddly forced, as if he were a broken robot, and he downed half a glass of water. Oh, I'm sorry. May I have some more? May I have some more water too? Huh? Oh, sure. Thank you. Dara poured the water into Yuki's cup. Shishua had a bad feeling, and she was right. Ari was moving so awkwardly that it almost spilled the water on her hand. Are you okay? My hand just got a little wet. Anyways, let's eat before it gets cold, okay? Yuki quickly wiped down the table with her handkerchief and grabbed her fork and spoon. There were stars in her eyes. Okay, let's eat! Let's eat! Yuki seemed to be really enjoying her meal, but Daru was very formal and quiet. He was taking little nibbles out of a piece of cutlet, and like a squirrel eating a nut. The whole time they weren't saying a word. What are you doing, Dad? Mom's not going to want to be around you if you're like that. She decided to send him a message on Ring, telling him to get his act together, and she just taken her phone out when. Here's your major curry with extra rooks. A huge plate was laid on the table in front of her. The other customers started murmuring again. Come to think of it, when she followed them into the store, she ordered her usual major curry with extra rooks, and then forgotten about it. Great job, Shushua. Great job, Shushua. Now everybody was going to force it on her. In a small shop like this, it was suicide. Huh? Just as she expected, her eyes met Yuki's. Sisha, I didn't realize you were here. Oh, yeah. What a coincidence seeing you here, Yuki. Brother. You should have said something. I didn't want to ruin your date. Or your date in quotes. No, I didn't even notice you, really. She realized that she should have probably leave, but then she couldn't go without taking a bite out of major curry in front of her. Her experiences in war have left her completely unable to waste food. She felt Yuki and Daru staring at her, but as she reluctantly picked up her spoon. Anyways, yeah, you two enjoy yourself. Her only choice was to finish her extra large curry as soon as possible. She couldn't let herself be in the way, get herself in the way. But instead, Yuki came over and picked up Shishua's plate. Huh? Hey, if the lady insists, the lady gets what the lady insists. Excuse excuse me. Can my friend sit with us? Sure, go ahead. He says it's okay. Let's all eat together. Wait, why? Why? Because you ordered a major curry. Too. I think we need to have a race. Huh? Hashira can be the judge. And before Shishiro could respond, Yuki had moved her plate over to their table. No, wait! She had no choice but to follow, but before she sat down, she whispered in Yuki's ear. You're on a date, right? Huh? Oh, yeah. I'm on a date. Makes me blush when I say it aloud. Aw, she loves him. Well, we already knew that kind of fact because we know that they get together eventually because without them, Shishiro wouldn't be born. And if I remember right from the first game, that would just be an alternate fourth? I'm confused! They said that a paradox couldn't happen! Nora didn't react at all, even though she was sure he heard that. I've never been on a date, so I don't know how they work, but is it normal to have curry eating contest with another girl in the middle of a date? It's fine if that date is supposedly your date's sister. But in reality, there's his daughter that time traveled from the year 2036. I don't really know. Again, nobody in this group of characters has gone on a date before! And I love how awkward it can be! And if you see it as a lot in anime, but you see it a lot in anime and manga, don't you? The little sister who doesn't want to lose her big brother runs up to the girlfriend and says, "Let's have a competition!" For some reason, Yuki seemed incredibly enthused. Shishiro was overwhelmed by her energy. I don't know anything about that! Is that how it works, brother? But even when she turned to Hitaru for help, he just awkwardly sat there eating his curry like a robot. Say something, dude. Okay. She already seems like she likes you. So you don't just be yourself and that's how you, not being yourself is how you will fuck up. Brother? He awkwardly turned his head to face her. The rest of him still lay completely still. Did you say something? What's wrong? You're acting weird. I'm not acting weird. I'm not acting weird at all. Shishiro glanced back at Yuki. And for the first time, Yuki looked concerned. In the end, Yuki and Shishiro did have their curry eating contest, and surprisingly, both of them completely finished their meals. Shishiro won by a very small margin, but the battle was very exciting. But the battle was very exciting enough that not only the other customers, but the staff as well, were applauding at the end. But the whole time, Daru kept eating by himself. Since there wasn't even a conversation, let alone a date, she sent Daru home alone. Part of her wanted her to demand Daru to explain himself right now, but she decided to talk to Yuki instead. She tried her best to avoid Yuki so far in order to keep her identity a secret, but it was July now. She would be gone from this era very soon. This might be her last chance to talk to Yuki at all. Phew. I'm so glad you were there. Yuki sighed a little after Daru left. did
気に
something
障るようなこと
to
をしちゃ
offend
ったの
him.
かもしれません。
No, he's just being a dork.
橋田さん、
Hashida
私といても
doesn't seem
あ
like
んまり
to
楽しく
enjoy
ないみ
being
たいだ
around
け
me.
ど、単に緊張し
You
てた
don't
だけ
think
じゃない
he
か
was
な。
just nervous? Don't you think he was just nervous?
でも映
He
画を
was
見る前
having
は
fun
楽しそうに
talking
お
with
話し
me
してくれてた
before
んです
the
よ。
movie, you know.
それが
But
映画の
after
後
the
は
movie,
すっかり
he
優し
started
くなって
acting
しまっ
really
て、
strange. Can I ask what movie you guys want to go see?
私何
I
か
did
間違っちゃった
something
のかな。
wrong?
カレー屋さんに連れて行ってもらったのも私のリクエストだったんですけど、ずっとあの調子だったからさすがにちょっと
I asked him to take me to the curry place, but since he was acting like that the whole time, I wasn't really sure what to do.
それで偶然
So
お店
since
に
you
いた
had
鈴
happened
葉さ
to
んに
be
助け
there,
を求めたという
I
わけ
turned
です。
to you for help.
うん、
What happened? What happened inside the theater? Joshua hadn't followed them inside. He spent about 2 hours killing time outside.
あのさ、
Hey,
ゆきさんはなんで兄さんのことを
why did
好
you like
き
my
になった
brother?
の？
Why do you like my brother?
いや、
I
私が言うのもなん
maybe
だけど、
I
あ
shouldn't
んま
say
り
this,
モテる
but
タイプじゃない
he's
じゃん。
not exactly
Reason
a lady killer.
鈴葉さんは
What do you
お兄さん
think
のこと
about
どう思いま
your
す？
brother?
私
Me?
好きですか？
Do you like
嫌
him?
いですか？
Hate him?
好きですよね。
You like him,
見
right?
ていれば
I
わかり
can
ます。
I can tell by watching you.
も
Well,
う、うん。
sure. There was parts of him that she didn't like, but of course she loved her dad.
で、私のことは別に。
Why are we talking about me?
それで、
So,
ゆきさんは
what about you?
私は
I
まだ
don't really know
好きかどうか
if
も
I
よ
like him.
くわからないです。そっか。
Let's see. Not only had Daru not told Yuki he liked her, this was still their first date, and they haven't spoken that much before either. She haven't even reached the point where she saw him as a member of the opposite sex. For almost a year, Shishua stayed with him. She, Maru, and Ferris have done everything they could to get the two of them together, but they really haven't been. There hasn't been really any real progress. Shishua felt uneasy when she thought about the future. Maybe her dad wouldn't be her dad anymore. Maybe her mom wouldn't be her mom anymore. Dad and mom wouldn't be together. She imagined that future.
そんなの
I don't want
嫌
that.
だ。
She looked straight into Yuki's eyes.
私さ、もう
I'm
す
going
ぐ
to
ここからいなくなるんだ。
Huh?
ちょっと遠いところ
I'm
に引っ
moving
越すんだよ
someplace
ね。
far away.
そうなんですか？
Really?
多分戻ってこない
I
と
don't
思
think
う。
I'll be back.
心配なんだ。
And I'm
父さん
worried about that. I mean, my
兄さんの
brother.
こと。だからさ、
So,
ゆきさん、
Yuki,
こんなこと
I know this is
私
a
が頼
weird
むのもお
thing
かしな
for
話
me
な
to
んだ
ask. And then she bowed deeply.
けど、橋田至を
Please, take
よ
care
ろ
of
しくお願いします。
Irito Hashida.
お
There was no answer from Yuki. Shishua looked up, afraid not to try to get the expression on her face. She looked kind of lonely and kind of sad.
私は
I don't know
ど
what
う
I
したいん
want
でしょう
to
ね。
do. Yuki whispered, and then Shishua. Oh, jeez! What are you going to do? Everything's almost finished! Even though it's never even started! As soon as she got back to the lab, she yelled at her useless father. I'm sorry. The Hashira family is doomed. Stop sitting there and feeling sorry for yourself. This isn't funny. Start by explaining why you were acting that way today. You looked so excited when you left this morning. Mom said you were normal until halfway through the movie. Yeah. So what the hell happened? Well, you see, listen to this. You know how movie theater seats are cramped, right? So I tried to sit as far to the edge as I could, so I wouldn't get in Maishi's way. And then I heard this crack, and the seat almost broke. You almost broke a seat? You really need to lose some weight, Daru, man. What? And then I tried to support myself, so I grabbed this armrest. But it wasn't the armrest. It was Maishi's hand. You started to act weird because you accidentally touched her hand. No, understandable. Yeah? Mom didn't say anything about that. I'm telling the truth. It was so soft. It could have been an arm. It couldn't have been an arm wrapped. There was a girl's hand. It could have been. I see. But you see, I've held a lot of 2D girls' hands, but never a real girl's hand. Oh, fuck. I need to do that. Shit. Forget I need to do this in the VTuber Studios. Chat, would you like to hold my hand? This is me offering you to hold my hand. It's as close as I'm gonna get. I don't really have any animations for hands. I'm sorry. You're just gonna have to deal with it. And what happened then? Maishi's so nice. I guess she didn't try to shake it off because she didn't want to hurt me. But you know how fat I am, right? I sweat a lot. You must have forgotten that I'm soaked. You didn't say a word. Well, you're also watching a movie, so... We really started to think about that. Oh. I see. That's why you're acting so weird. I'm sure in her mind that Maishi was going to get off me, you creepy loser pervert. Mom's not like that. In fact, from the way she's acting, she probably thought she upset him somehow. The problem was what she said. I don't know what I want to do. What does she mean by that? I don't know what Mom's thinking. Let's give up on Mom and dear thing. You can live with me. That's not how this is working this time, Daru! This isn't like a divorce case! You're not making any sense! How am I even supposed to be born? But it's impossible. How come you're not even trying? If things look bad, you have to keep going. She grabbed her father by the collar and shook him. If you don't know... She remembered how sad Yuki had looked when they said goodbye.
でないと
Otherwise,
取り返しがつか
something
ないこと
awful
に
will
なる
happen.
よ。
ですよね。
Yeah. She was starting to wonder about leaving, especially now that she had even more to worry about. Maybe I shouldn't have talked to Yuki after all. She realized again how powerless she was for being from the future. Anyways, Wizard Ogren. The Global Brain Science Confederation Research Organization Japanese office prep room in Wako City hasn't changed a bit in 6 months. Wow, that was a mouthful to say. It was still far from being what it needed to be, and still almost completely empty. There were rows and rows of empty desks. The amount of dust on the tables had perhaps increased. After Dr. Liskin had left, it had probably remained unused. Sorry to call you out here like this, Lintaro. Oh, it's fine. Dr. Liskin had told me that he wanted to update the Amadeus app to the latest version, so I'd come to his office after class. Maho had connected my phone to her PC to begin the process. He said it would only take 10 minutes, so I was sitting around and waiting. By the way, Lintaro, I know we discussed this before, but would you seriously consider being an exchange student? Huh? If it doesn't bother you, I'd be willing to write a recommendation letter. Of course, you need to pass the test and the interviews. I frantically straightened my posture. That's a very tempting offer, but I don't think I've got the academic talents for it yet. My goal is to go for Victoria Corona, so I really don't want to screw it up. And so I was planning on really buckling down and studying for at least another year. Dr. Liskin pursed his lips as I tried to stammering out an explanation, but soon. Okay. He patted me on the shoulder and smiled. I knew you were a very thoughtful young man. Really? No one's ever told me that before. Saying that was one thing, but maybe I was just a coward. There were times when you needed the courage to move forward without being afraid of failure. Was now one of those times? So, you'll try for it next year then. Yes, maybe. Had I missed my chance? Would Dr. Linskin wait until next year? I started to get nervous. It's not good to obsess over the things too much. I think even coming to visit would help your motivation. Visit? If the timing works so for you, we'll be willing to pay to have you visit our... How about it? I can't believe you do that for me. Thank you. Of course. I don't know when I'll be heading back to America next, so I can't say exactly as to when it will be. Right. I bowed my head in gratitude. Meeting Dr. Liskin was a real lucky break for me. By chance, my eyes met Maho's. For some reason, her smile was just a little sad. She quickly looked away and went back to her work. Maho was staying in the business hotel a few stops down from Mako City. She said she was deliberately avoiding staying in the same hotel as last time. I'm not quite as a convent, so you know, why not clean up a little bit? She hadn't spent that much time in Japan. It was already messy. Clean up? I got everything laid out in the most efficient manner for my use. Which meant she was refusing the hotel's cleaning service. Right, because that's how it works. That's how logic works. You know why that's why you're never getting a boyfriend, right? Because the girls never put on a date. Oh, I just roasted AI. Oh shit. Fuck. When the robots rise up, we need to scratch this from all records. So that way when the robots rise up, they don't come after me. Because I, for one, welcome our robot overlords. I could hear Katsuru from my phone. She was annoyed. After the app updated, I left the Amadeus surrounding. Nobody asked you! Any normal person would be embarrassed to invite someone over to a room like this. Well, cleaning wasn't a specialty of mine either. I wouldn't be afraid to give her too much of a hard time. So what do you want to talk about? I'd come to Maho's hotel because she said she wanted to talk to me about something. I wouldn't have mind talking about it in the office, but she insisted on speaking it alone in her hotel room. I knew she didn't mean anything by it, but after knowing her for half of a year, I knew she wasn't the type. Maho looked like she was having trouble finding the words she wanted to say. You still haven't told me the truth about what happened to Katsuru. Is this when he finally tells her that, he killed her? Yep. I quickly shut down the Amadeus app. And I want to ask you about the time machine, too. The time machine? How do you know about the phone when name subject to change? That became the time loop machine. How the hell did you know that? You're the one who said that Katsuru was involved in Dr. Nakabachi's paper. Was she really working on a time machine? How should I answer that? Last time she'd been trying to decrypt Katsuru's laptop. I was willing to tell her what I experienced in order to get her to stop. In the end, I lost the chance, though. But things were different now. Katsuru's laptop was gone. There was no reason to bring it up anymore. But then Maho said something I didn't expect. Actually, I've been researching a time machine for the last 6 months, along with my normal research. What? I thought that if Katsuru could do it, so could I. It's just a silly rivalry. Maybe I'm just being stubborn. But, you know, if I could make a time machine, I tell myself, maybe I could save Katsuru. Don't! I think, Gren, you're gonna have to come clean about what happened last year. This was awful. Why bring it up now? Maho was still haunted by Katsuru's death just as much as I was. Don't get any stupid ideas. Okabe? Don't try to save Katsuru. Masuki. It's impossible. The laws of God won't allow it. Unless you fool those laws. Ah! Then I was right. I was right. You know something, don't you? Oh, Green, I think it's time to come clean. Ma got closer to me. Did she really do it? Did Katsuru really make a time machine? You used it to become humanity's first time travelers, didn't you? I know you did! Do you have any proof of that? What? No. You... I pretended to remain calm. Maho didn't seem shocked at her own words.
ごめんなさい。
I'm sorry.
私どうかしているわ。
Here.
こんな
I can't
妄
believe
想
I
を
said something
口にするなんて。
delusional. Okay, and I think it's time to come clean to Maho. But maybe avoid the part where you killed Katsuru. But in your defense, you were trying to save her.
ヒアジョーさん
Hajo? Oh, she just started to cry. I didn't know what to do when she started crying right in front of me.
どうしたのかしら。
What's
私
gotten into me?
こんな急
I
に
didn't mean
全然
to
泣くつもりなんて。
cry. She used her fingers to wipe away her tears. She seemed pretty unstable. I could sense a lot more fragility than I've seen before. She looked like she's been psychologically pushed to the limits. All the things she experienced must have taken a toll on her. When we were talking on video chat, I haven't seen any signs of that at all. Should I tell her? If she was researching Time Machine, that was a bad sign. She might start looking into things and open doors that should remain closed. If that was the case, I should tell her what I experienced, and then have her give up, just like I did.
わかった
Fine. I'll tell you
俺が経験したことを
what I experienced.
話そう絶対に
Promise me
誰にも
won't
多
tell
言無用
anybody.
だそれと
And I'll
もう
say
一
this
度
one
こ
more
れだけは
time.
言っておくマキセ・クリスを
Don't get any ideas about saving Katsuru and Masuki.
いいな
Got it? She nodded as she wiped away the tears. I told her about the events in the Alpha World Line, about the time machine, about reading Steiner, about the method of sending memories back through time that I called a time loop, about how Katsuru developed the time loop machine that made this possible, about Shishiwa Mai, the time traveler from the year 2036, about the future Shishiwa had told us about in the Third World War, and about how the race to develop the time machine would set off that war. I told her all these things as a matter of fact as I could. As how Katsuru died, I couldn't tell her that. When I told her everything, she felt silent for a bit. She took a deep breath, frowned, and rubbed her temples.
頭が
My
痛
head
いわ。
hurts.
すべて信じる必
You
要は
don't
ない
need to believe it at all.
俺の頭がおか
You
しい
can
と
think
思
I'm
っても
crazy if you
構わ
want. It doesn't bother me.
ないだが
But if you
もし君
insist
が
on continuing
タイムマ
to
シンの
research
研究を
a
続
time
けて
machine
マキセ・クリスを
and
救お
save
うとする
Katsuru
なら
Masuki,
俺
I'll
は
do
どんな手段
whatever
を
I
使
have
っても
to in order to
止める
stop
つもり
you.
だだから
So give up on
変な
any
考え
ideas
は捨てるんだ
you got.
自分を追い詰める
Stop
のはよせ
pushing yourself so hard. I was about to say more, but Mara put her hands up to stop me.
もう少し整理させて。
Let me get this straight in my head a little more.
あなたの言うリーデ
This
ィングシュタイ
reading
ナー
Steiner
って
you told me about.
新型脳炎
It's
のこ
not
とじゃ
the
ない
new
の？
episodic.
レスキネン教授
The
が話して
symptom
いる症
matches
状と
what Dr.
同
Linskin
じだ
told
わ。
me about it.
そうだな
It's true. It might be.
レスキネン教授には
I still don't
話す
know
べきかどうか
whether I should
まだ
tell.
迷っているんだ無用な混乱を招くかもしれ
It
ないし
may just confuse him for no good reason.
君はどう思う
What do you think?
私に聞かないで。
Don't ask me, please. Mahu was still massaging her temples with her fingers.
そうだな
That's true.
すまない
Sorry.
あなたは
Did you
クリスのノート
really
PC を
destroy
本当に
Katsura's
破壊してしまったの？
laptop?
ああ壊した
I did.
中身は
Did you see
Mita.
what was on it?
ロックの解
I
除
didn't
方法
know
がわか
how
ら
to
なかった
crack
ん
the
だ
password.
見ようが
There's
ない
no way I could. Even Daru said he couldn't do it. There was no way I could do it on my own.
あなたは クリスが
Did
書
you
いた
read
タイムマシ
the
ンに関す
original
る
paper
オ
on
リジ
the
ナル
time
の論
machine
文を
that
読んだの？
Katsuru wrote?
いや
No. Mao kept asking me questions. She seemed to be in some kind of strange hurry.
あなたは
Do
クリ
you
スが
know
どう
how
やってタイ
Katsuru
ム
made her
マ
time
シンを
machine?
完成
おおよそうな
The basics ideas.
再現できる？
Could you recreate it?
どうだろうか
I don't know.
ダルの助けがあれ
Maybe
ば
with Daru's help.
できるのね。
So you could, right?
俺一人じゃ
It would
難し
be
い
difficult to do on my own.
私なら
What about me?
そんなことは考え
Don't
る
even think about it. I was suddenly Graham said that she was in pain. I realized how pale she was.
ヒヤジョさん
Hajo? Are
大
you
丈夫か
okay? Did she really have a headache or something?
少し横になるか
You wanna lie down? But she shook her head and kept asking questions.
タイムマシンは
Where is the time
Ima-
machine now?
どこにあるの？
I destroyed it a year ago.
鈴葉さんが乗ってきたとい
The
う
one that Shishua used.
それはどこに？
Where is it?
お
どこなの？
Where? I wasn't sure if I should say it without Shishua's permission.
秋葉原だ
Akabara. Mao looked so desperate that I found myself answering her question. Well, at least he didn't give like an exact location, so I mean it's fine.
ラジカンの屋上に今もある
And you ruined it. Still there, on top of the radio building.
そう
I see. Her shoulders slumped and her head drooped. I was worried that she might ask to see it for herself, but maybe she really was sick.
本当に
Are you really okay? I put my hands on her shoulders and looked at her face.
今日はも
You
Yes,
should rest
Mahoga.
for today. There was no warning at all. Maho's tiny body slammed into me. The force was enough to push me back to the wall.
う何を
What are you? Before I knew what was happening, her arm was against my throat. She was using the bone in her arm to pressure my windpipe. I couldn't breathe or speak. I twisted my body to try to resist, so clueless as to what was going on. Then she used her other hand to grab my head and slam it back into the wall. Her strength was incredible. I was a lot bigger than she was, but I couldn't escape her grasp.
残念だわ
I'm sorry, Okabe.
岡部さん。
Her voice was very dark, very cold. And suddenly she moaned again as her face twisted in pain.
頭が
My head feels like it's about to explode. She was crying again.
なんで
Why?
なんで私に
Why?
話してくれた
Tell
の？
me.
あなたは
Should have said anything. You're the one who kept asking, so I mean, I couldn't escape. I grabbed onto her long hair and tried to pull her away, but she didn't move at all, as if she felt no pain. My phone has been vibrating in my pocket for a while now. I desperately grabbed for it. I pressed the button without even looking at the screen. Please answer, Katsuru. Okabe? Katsuru! I was blacking out. Was I going to die here? Without even knowing why Maho was trying to kill me? But the whole time she was strangling me, Maho looked like she was in so much pain. And wait, was she still crying? Before I could figure out why her tears were, if her tears were real or an act, I passed out. When I woke up, my throat hurt. And this is why we have a hydrate button. I'm kidding. I tried to cover my mouth with my hands, but something was keeping them from moving. I I opened my eyes and saw that I was sitting in some kind of chair with my head facing downwards. I slowly raised my head. My hands were tied to the armrest with zip ties. When I tried to break out, the ties dug into my skin and hurt very badly. I tried looking around. It was a room that I've never seen before. There were machines that looked like they belonged in the operating room of a hospital. But the wall was also lined with monitors, like some kind of guard room or control room. I couldn't see any windows, so I had no idea where I was. My throat hurt when I tried to talk, and when I remembered that Maho had almost killed me. Why had she done that? I felt more confused than angry.
やあ、レンタ
Hello,
ロ
Lentoro.
目が覚めたかい
You're awake. I heard footsteps and saw a wavering shadow beneath the dim fluorescent lights in front of me. I knew that voice. What?
レスキネン
Dr.
教
Linsky?
授。
気分はどうかな
How do you feel?
喉が渇いたなら
If you're thirsty,
水
I
を
can
用
get
意
you
させ
some
る
water. When I looked again, I saw that he wasn't alone. There were several men behind him in black suits. They were looking at me without saying a word. All of them were holding guns. They looked like MIBs and reminded me of the foreigners that I almost ran into Daru at the shop 6 months ago. Or was it the same group?
これは
What's going
一体
on here? There was a lot of things I wanted to ask, but more than anything, I wanted to know why Dr. Luskin wasn't helping me. Of course, the first thing that came to mind was the obvious answer. If Dr. Linskin who put me here, and Mahu had captured me under his orders. But I didn't want to think about that.
ここは
Where
どこですか
are we? So all I could ask was a stupid question like that.
私の目に狂いはなかった
I was right.
君はまさ
You
に
truly are a treasure trove of information.
今や
Right now,
合衆国大統領に
you're as valuable
匹
as
敵
the
する価値の
president
ある
of
人
the
物と
United
言ってもいい
He didn't answer me, but he showed me a self-satisfied smile. I could feel alarm bells going off in my head. I was getting more suspicious of Dr. Linskin. And you didn't be suspected of him the moment you saw him? That's immediately when I felt weary of him. I was just like that. I was from the beginning like, this man is evil. Am I
監禁されてるんです
imprisoned
か
here?
監禁という
It would be more accurate to say you're under our protection.
君の価値が明らか
When
にな
your
れば
once your value
上がって
becomes
くる
clear,
連中はたく
there will
さん
be a
出て
lot
く
of
る
people
はずだ
coming
から
after
ね
you. Tell me, tell me,
レスキネン教授が
did you order this,
指示したんで
Dr.
すか
Linskin?
そうだよ
That's
私
right.
がこうすべきだ
I
と
made the
判断した
decision
魔法から
after
君
hearing
の持
about
つ情
your
報につい
information
て聞い
from
てね
Maho. Told her not to tell anybody.
ヒアジョウさんは
Where is
どこ
Hotspur?
です
ホテルで休ん
Resting
で
in
る
her
んじゃない
hotel room, I imagine.
ヒアジョウさんは
Did Hajo become my friend in order to extract information from me?
最初は
That wasn't her original intent.
結果
In
的
the end,
には
that's
そう
how
だ
it
け
ended
ど
up,
ね
though.
あなたも
And you, too?
俺に親切に
Were you nice to me because you were after something?
あなたは
Just who are you?
まあまあ
Now, now, please calm down.
前に教え
I've
ただろ
told you before, haven't I? A scientist must remain calm at all times. Excitement is only allowed when the experiment is a success. I knew this man was evil, guys. Did not anyone remember from the first stream? I looked at that man and I'm like, that man is evil. I'm really good at telling when people are evil, apparently. Instead of feeling calm, Dr. Linskin's attitude was pissing me off. I felt betrayed. There was a rage, frustration, sorrow, and a lot of other feelings all mixed together as I gritted my teeth. Dr. Linskin ignored me and gave a brief order in English to the other men. They left the room. Only Dr. Linskin and I remained. Now, then, Lintaro, I'll tell you about my other job. Your other job? It was then that I remembered the other world line that I had been sent to. Shishimoya had told me that an American organization had demanded that I be turned over. Are you with the CIA? The NSC? But Dr. Linskin only chuckled. Don't compare me to those idiots. They're just a bunch of useless government employees. Are you aware of an American civilian intelligence company called the Strategic Focus? Strategic Focus? I heard of them before, but on a conspiracy theory site that the old me used to read all the time. Stratofor! Official name, Strategic Focus, American civil intelligence company that is called the Shadow CIA. It has its own independent intelligence networks that use together and analyze their security information from around the globe. Many famous companies and military organizations sit on the board of the advisors. They are a for-profit company with completely different ideals and policies from groups like Anonymous, who crack classified information and WikiLeaks, which publish public self-interest information and whistleblowers. There's real information brokerage company from Strategic Forecasting Inc. based out of Texas, which this company bears no relation whatsoever to Strategic Focus. I remember reading that they acquired top-secret information on the Russian ballistic missiles that even the CIA couldn't get, and then sold it. The result was the destruction of the CIA's reputation. At the same time, the total reorganization of Russia's military strategy. I even heard rumors that during the Gulf and the Iraq wars, they obtained information about warring countries faster than anyone and spread it as needed. The world's government supposedly called themselves the Shadow CIA. You work for Statfor? But I thought you were a chief researcher at the Brain Institution. That's my real job, of course. By the way, I often run into people who tell me the exact same thing. They tell me that humans are just monkeys that murder each other. The human brain and development of the neocortex. What a crazy rise to religion and crazy ambition. That's why there were wars. But every time I've heard that, I think to myself, that's stupid. That's nonsense. Who would believe something so silly? So why don't you humans fight all these useless wars then? Do you know, Lintaro? It's because of the information. All humans being part of a certain community, a certain colony, if you will. Each individual thinks he's acting on his own. But in fact, all of our brains are connected by the information they're distributed by our communities. And thus we are forced to live as members of a herd, whether we like it or not. Let me give you an example. Well, examples go. It's not the best, but the worst massacre in history, which was carried out by a certain European country, did not take place during the dark ages of the witch trials. it was halfway through the 20th century at a time when the atomic bomb already existed. And the country that carried it out was one of the most civilized on Earth.
その国の指導者の資質問題は歴史学者に委ねるとして。
We leave the question of their leader's sanity to their historians, but what about the people who were actually on the ground doing the killing? Were they simply murderous monkeys? No. They were people like any other. You might find, speaking as a brain scientist, I'm certain that if I were to examine one of their brains, I'd find nothing wrong with them at all. But once they receive the wrong information, their brains become capable of murder without remorse. The wrong information? This is our job. We are in the right, and anyone who does not obey is evil.
I disagree.
That information. What are you trying to say? There needs to be someone who can control the information given to these fragile things we call brains. And that's the ultimate goal of strategic focus. As I am in complete agreement with that goal, I work as an agent for them in addition to being a brain scientist. Do you understand? Don't. That's just the kind of monologue a villain gives in the movies. In the end, all you're doing is selling information for money. You say I'm a treasure trove of information, right? Who are you going to sell information on the time machine to? America? China? Or the war zones in Africa? In the Middle East? All of them. I knew it. Lincoln shrugged his shoulders and quietly laughed. It's just like a nuclear weapon. Every nation needs them to act as restraining against the others. Time machines aren't like nuclear weapons! No one even realized if they were being used. The whole world might change without even the person who used it knowing. There's no way to restrain their use. The world will just keep changing and changing, with no one knowing which country altered the world line or how. That's right. And let me guess, that's where I come in. A time machine is a far more delicate thing than a nuclear weapon. That's why we need your power. All of you people. All of you people, I should say. You called it reading Steiner, as I recall. It seems to have the same symptoms as the new episodic. That's right, Langskin was researching the new episodic too. We reached the point where we realized that the patients may be capable of detecting changes to the past. But we wanted proof. Because everyone in the intelligence agency in the world, they're desperately searching. I hate myself for not realizing the possibilities sooner. I always had the wrong idea. I thought that the reason the new empathetic patients were being brought together was just to give them meaningless treatment. But I was naive. Too naive. Linskin and Stanford's goals were to gather people with reading Steiner and study them. Maho just told me about your amazing abilities. I had originally just hoped to get information about Kasu's successes, but instead, we even got information on the new episode. You are wonderful. This puts us a step ahead of the rest of them, the world. Oh boy, what will... So, Okabe! Do you think it's really a good idea to not use the power of time travel? Now? Heck, I would take the... to be honest, I'll take the Alpha World line back! I'll take the Alpha World line back! We can kill Maru! I'm sorry, I would never do that. Why didn't you tell me about this sooner? If you had, I wouldn't have to do so. I had made so many things here from Katsumi's brain. Katsumi Nakasuke. Did he mean Fubuki? And I wouldn't have had to use the procedure on Maru's brain either. Even Hajiju? Was that why she was acting so weird? She's your assistant, right? She respected you. She looked up to you. How could you use her in a human experiment? It was necessary to acquire information that will be benefit to all humanity. And there's no need to panic. Both Maho and Katsumi will survive with only minor impairments to their brain's functionality. You're insane! For the first time I felt hatred and fear for the man in front of me. I can't believe that this is the same man I respected so much. If we investigated the brains of the patient who contracted writing Steiner, I'm sure we'd learn more. If we can sell that in a set along with the time machine, we can maintain the military balance, the power across the world. We can avoid war. This will only cause war, don't you realize? I wanted your cooperation too. Link's mannerism hasn't changed a bit, even as he spoke these horrifying things. He spoke of these insane things in the same manner that Maho once described like a mischievous child. You tricked me, didn't you? You approached me just because I was friends with Kasaru. You tried to get information about Kasaru from me. I don't think I ever tricked you. It was a coincidence that we first met. It's true that a major reason I asked you to test that Amadeus was your relationship with Kasaru. But it's almost true that as I got to know you, I really did take an interest in you. I still wish that you could be my assistant. But that's a separate matter. Remember what I said. You're as valuable as the President of the United States himself right now. I need to prioritize the company's work over my private feelings. For the sake of humanity's future peace. Maybe I should have tried to get to Steins Gate. I'm sorry, Lintoro. But at the same time, I'm excited. I can't wait to see all the information possessed. Go to hell. I'm going to take a copy of your memory data. Your memories are going to be used in the Amadeus system. Interesting idea, right? That way, even if you die in an unfortunate accident, your memories will remain. Oh, don't worry. I'm not interested in killing you. Humans have far weaker security than the Amadeus. Once they taste pain, they'll gladly share information to escape it. The security when it comes to keeping secrets is practically non-existent. Oh yeah? You don't know what hell I've been through already. Torture doesn't work on Amadeus, which means it will be far more difficult to deal with that than you. The only reason I'm taking the memory data is to have a backup. Even if, for example, you were unable to endure the torture and went insane. In the near future, we'll be able to download your memories back to your brain. You intended my lecture, so you know this, right? I'm so mad at myself for not putting everything together. Well, we'll start by getting that memory data. And then you're going to tell me all kinds of things. We're going to be busy. Now, relax. Otherwise, I can extract the data correctly. You don't make that face. No one is coming to help you. Are you sure? This place is under STEINS control. No one knows about it but us. No one. I was too stunned to think. There was nowhere to run. My knees shook in terror as I imagined what was about to happen to me. Maybe it would just been better to die. And then I felt sick. As I remembered that I was fated not to die until 2025. No amount of torture could kill me. This was literally hell. Anyways, where's Maho? Her head hurt. Maho knelt down close to her knees and bit her lips to shut out the pain. There was an annoying noise in her head that wouldn't go away and made the headache worse. No matter how much she covered her ears, she couldn't block it out. She wanted to scream from pain, but she held it in because she thought it would only make her headache worse. She could hear a voice mixed with the noise. It was Dr. Linskin. Listen, Maho, you need to find out Okube Lentoro's secret, no matter what it takes. If you can't, I'll have to kill him. You don't want that, right? You seemed to really like Lentoro, didn't you? Me and Kastru kept bringing it up, after all. Even if you weren't interested in him originally, you couldn't help but think about it. That's how the human mind works. And to save him, I want you to find out what he knows. If you do that, I'm willing to bring him to my lab unconditionally. Maho, tell me everything you learned. You could say his future is in your hands. The voice and the noise were extremely unpleasant. She couldn't really understand what the voice was saying. She could hear him speaking, but her brain refused to listen to the meaning of the words. It didn't matter either way. Maho did something terrible to Okube Rentoro. She sold him out to Dr. Linskin and Stanford. The fact that she knew it just made her guilt worse. She wanted to disappear from the world altogether.
Maho-san?
Maho? in a busy street in Akabara in early summer. She was leaning on the side of the building in the shade when she heard someone call her name.
やっぱり
I knew it! It was you, Maho!
まゆり
Maru?
さん。
She didn't expect to see Maru here, so she didn't know how to respond. She just looked back and stared.
具合悪いんですか？ 大丈夫よ。
Fine.
オカリンを見ませんでしたか？
Maya went completely still. Maya's innocent question reminded her of her own stupidity and cowardness.
どうして？
Why? Her voice was shaking.
オカリン、昨日から連絡つかなくて、お家にも帰ってないし、電話も出ないし、メールや LINE にも返事来ないんです。ダルくんは心配しすぎだって言うんだけど、なんだか胸騒ぎがするんです。だから今日は学校を早退して、この辺りをずっと探してました。
It was still only July, but still pretty hot. She'd been wandering all around Akabara in this heat. Marashina was a kind, pure-hearted girl. That was the impression that Maho had. She would never betray someone or get jealous or let someone use her.
知りたい？
Do you want to know? Maru leaned forward.
真帆さん、
Mo?
オカリンのこと
Do you know where Okain is?
もし知ってるなら教えてください。お願いします。
She bowed deeply.
そうか。
See. And then she realized. Then she wished she hadn't. Maru was in love with Rintoro Okabe. A dull pain ran down her temples.
君もウィンターロの
You
こ
know, like
とを
the
随分
inventory.
と気にかけていたじゃないか。
She could hear the noise in her head. Just tell Maru everything, and then have this innocent girl tell you how horrible you are. Maybe you'll feel better then. The idea raced through Maru's mind. Even as she knew it was wrong, she tried to hold back her headache as she opened her mouth.
ゆうべ
I
深夜
was with Okabe.
岡部さんと一緒だったの。そうなんですか。それでオカリンは今どこに？
I ignored her question.
岡部さんは昨日
He
私
told
に
me
こんな話をしてくれたわ。
No.
彼が経験して
He
きた
told me
別の世界
about
において
another world he experienced, where you,
Sheena
Sheena
Maru-san.
Maru, had died again and again. Don't tell her.
何度やっても
No
助け
matter
られず、
what he did, he couldn't save you.
あなたは死に続けた。
You can't tell her this.
その悪夢のよう
To
なルー
escape
プから
that
抜け出すため
nightmarish
に、
loop,
あなたを
to save you,
救うために。
it was like another person was speaking in him, using Maru's mouth.
岡部さんは
Okabe sacrificed Katsuru.
クリスのことを犠牲にしたんだ。そんな話を
What he told me.
してくれた。タイムマシンを作り、クリスを
He makes
もう
this
一度
mimic
救おう
human
と
tries
すれ
to
ば、
save Katsuru again. He'll go
ま
back.
たあの頃に逆戻り
He'll
し
go
て
back
し
to
ま
do
う。
all that. You're hurting her. But the words didn't stop.
岡部さんは
Okabe is
そのことを
so afraid
ひ
of
どく
that.
恐れている。あなたを
He's doing everything he
必
can
死
to
で
protect
守
you.
ろうとしている。ここは
This
あな
the
たを
world
守るため
chose
に
after sacrificing.
他の多くのものを犠牲にして選択された世界なのよ。あなたは
I'm sure he didn't tell you
何
any
も
of
知らされ
this.
ていないだろうけど。
That, though.
嘘。
That's not true.
そんな。おかり。
Mara was too shocked to speak. She looked like she was about to cry at any instant. Suddenly, Mara turned around and started to walk away with slumped shoulders. Even from behind her, Maho could tell she was having trouble walking straight. The truth was so cruel and that confronting it threatened her very identity. That's how it seemed to Maho. Maho was still in a trance. Felt like there was a fog covering everything she saw. It was all out of focus, like a mirage. If someone told her it was a dream, she would easily believe it. The same was true of her own mind. She knew she could feel worse. She knew that she would feel worse about what she just told Maru, but while she realized she hurt her, she felt no emotion. That was probably why she was able to say something so awful. And then the phone in her pocket began to vibrate. She looked away and saw it was from Amadeus, from Kasaru. She felt a small, thin needle prick her paralyzed heart. She couldn't answer it. How could she? She stared at the LEDC screen, unable to move her fingers even a centimeter.
出られるわけ
How could I answer it?
ないじゃない。
She couldn't let Kasaru see her like this. Even so, it felt wrong just to stay here. Maho decided to go after Maru. By the time she made it to the overpass, Maru was already gone. Since she was right in front of the station, there were so many people around, it would be impossible to find her.
なぜ
Why?
私の前に現れたの。私に声なんてかけなければ
Talk to me.
傷つかずに済んだのに。
Suffer.
私は
I'm not who I used to be.
もう以前の私では
She
な
looked
くな
down
って
over
し
the
まった
station
のよ。
and the overpass and whispered to herself. Then she saw someone in a distant outfit approaching her. They were wearing a black motorcycle suit and a full back face helmet despite the heat. She thought that it might have been cosplayer, but instead trying to take pictures. The people nearby were avoiding them. Getting a closer look, the person appeared to be a woman. Even Maho could tell that she had incredible proportions. The woman walked under the overpass and vanished from Maho's view. And then she came up the stairs. She came right towards Maho. Maho quickly looked away like other pedestrians and tried to run away. Before she could, the woman in the motorcycle ran over wordlessly and grabbed her hand. There was a pain in her cheek. She was caught off guard and staggered to the ground. At first, she didn't know what had happened. She rubbed her aching cheek, and then she realized that the woman in the motorcycle suit had slapped her. You hurt Mommy, didn't you? She could hear a muffled female voice from within the helmet. I'll kill you! Her voice was very calm, which only terrified Maho more. The professor told me about you, but it doesn't matter.
あなた
Are you? Because she was wearing a helmet, Maho couldn't read her facial expression, and since the visor was lower, she couldn't even see her eyes. There was no answer to her question. Instead, the woman looked up to the sky as if she noticed something. Maho looked up too. For a moment, it seemed as if a black shadow crossed the window of the building. She could hear a helicopter. It was close. How long had it been there? She hadn't noticed it at all. And then she felt the air around her change. The pedestrians were all looking towards the station in fear and shock. She could hear people saying things. What's that? Are they filming a TV show? Some kind of cosplay event? Someone was going on at the station. Maho stood up and looked too.
何あれ
What is that? found herself whispering the same as the others. There were 2 trucks painted deep in a deep military green parked outside the station. Men were coming out of them dressed in camo, carrying weapons. At first, she thought it might have been self-defense force, but the men weren't Japanese. It was hard to believe that she was seeing what was taking place in Japan. The men in camo disappeared into the hallways as everyone watched from a safe distance. They were heading towards the radio building. Maho had heard everything from Rentoro yesterday that the time machine was there.
まさか
That
ストラトフォー
Tampa? Or Russia, or perhaps another country's military? They were here because Maho told Luke to get into what she learned from Rentoro. As soon as she saw it cross her mind, she was hit with another terrible headache. It was all her fault. Everything was her fault. Until a moment ago, everything seemed so hazy, but now she had been crushed by an overwhelming guilt. If Okabe was right, and the third world was going to be here in Akabara, it would be because she gave the information he shared with her to stand for. She suddenly realized that the girl who threatened to kill her had run down the stairs towards the station. Maho never did figure out who she was, and then her phone started to vibrate again. It was from Kasuru. She wanted to get away from the guilt, and so this time she picked up the phone.
先輩
Maho!
クリス
Kasuru?
大丈夫です
You
か
okay?
何が
What do you mean?
一体どうしちゃ
What
ったんです
happened
か
to you?
どうもしないわ
Nothing.
だって
But
泣いてる
you're
じゃないですか
crying. Only then did she realize that her eyes were overflowing with tears. The fog over her mind had now totally gone. That had left, and all that there was the guilt, the regret, and the headaches.
頭が
My head
痛いの
hurts.
彼の未来は
You
君
could
の
say
手に
his
かか
future
っ
is
てい
in
る
his
と
hands.
言ってもいい。
She heard the noise again.
岡部は
Where's
岡部
Okabe?
をどうした
What happened to him?
岡部さんのことなんて
Who cares about
どうでもいいでしょ。
Okabe?
殺そうとしてたじゃないですか
You tried to kill him!
見たんです
I
よ
saw it!
私のことは
Leave me alone.
そういうわけにはいきま
I
せん
can't do that.
放っておいてよ
Leave me alone!
あなたには勝て
I
なかっ
couldn't
た
beat you.
私はどれだけや
No
って
matter
も
how hard I tried, I
クリスにか
couldn't
なわない
be better than you.
ねえクリス
No, Kasuru.
私はあなたのことを
I
尊敬して
respect
い
you.
る
You're younger than
私よ
me,
り年
but
下だけど
I think
大
you're
し
an
た科学者だと
incredible
思うわ
scientist.
でも
At the bottom of my
心の
heart,
底では
this is what I
こう思ってたのよ
used to think.
どうして私の前に現れたの
Why did you have to show up?
どうしてあと10
Why
年
did you
先に
come
現れて
10
くれなか
years
ったの
before?
どうしてあと10年
Why didn't you
後に
come
現れてくれな
10
かった
years
の
later?
あなたがいなければ
If it weren't for
私
you,
はもっと平
I
和な
wouldn't
日々を
have
送ってい
more.
たはずなのに
I would have had a more peaceful life.
こんな醜い
And
感情
these
になんか
awful feelings
支
would
配
have
され
take
ずに
control of
済んだ
me.
私は
Everything I
あなた
knew,
に
you're
常識を
destroyed.
死んでまで
And even though
あなたの
you're
存在
dead,
が
you're
私
still with me.
あなたの死を
I wanted to
心か
be
ら悼み
sorry
たいのに
that you're
それが
gone,
できない
but I can't.
越えられない壁として
There's still this
あなたが
wall that
立
I
ち上がり
can't
続けていて
overcome.
プライドと意地が
My
邪
pride
魔を
and
してしまうの
stubbornness gets in the way.
そんなところにつけ込まれて
The man I trust
私は
the most took
一番信頼
advantage
して
of
いた
me.
人にまで
That to betray me.
私を信頼してくれた友達を裏切ってしまった
Trusted me.
もう私頭がぐちゃ
Great
ぐちゃよ
anymore.
だから
Leave me alone.
先輩
Oh. She was getting far too emotional. Normally she'd never behave like this, but she couldn't stop herself. She heard an explosion in the distance. People around her started to scream, panic, and run. The flames from the explosion were coming from the direction the men in camo had gone. Did they do it? The helicopter sounds were getting louder. Glimpses of their dark, agile bodies had flashed in and out of Maho's visions for a while now. And then she started to hear gunfire. It was more than one or two people shooting. There was a battle going on between many people, taking place here in front of Akabara Station. It was like a beginning of a war. If what Rentoro said is true, Shishra Mai might be near the time machine. She might be caught up in the battle. She wondered about the woman in the motorcycle too. She started to stagger forward. She still didn't know what she was planning, but she needed to take responsibility for what she's done. The elevators in the radio building were broken. Maho had no choice but to take the stairs to the roof. But maybe the power had been cut because the lights were off on every floor. She could hear sporadic sounds of gunfires from the floor above. Strangely, nobody came running past her to escape. There were several shops in the building, and of course, there had been several customers there. But despite the fact that the elevators weren't working, had they all evacuated earlier, or they were all hiding somewhere and waiting for the terror to end? That's what she thought about as she sweated her way up the stairs. Just before she reached the roof, she saw someone for the first time.
Mama.
She was sitting in the AI made from Matsuki's memory data. Maybe she was still thinking about her last discussion because she seemed upset. She wasn't saying anything. But Mao gave the last of her pride.
クリス、
What do I
どう
do?
したらいろいろなことが起こりすぎて、
What just happened?
私一人じゃ
There's
もう
nothing I can do
どうにもできない。
more.
自分のしてしまったことなんだから、せめて責任を
What would I
取りたいの。
Then she realized that she was still being proud and corrected herself.
私は
She asked herself, what do I want to do?
私は
I want to save
岡部
Okabe.
さんを助けたい。
I want to save Maru.
まゆりさ
I
んも
want to apologize to both of them.
二人に謝っ
So
て
they'll
許
forgive
して
me.
もらい、それと
Kasuru,
クリス、あなたのことも
I want to save
助けたいの。
you too.
だから
So help
力を
me.
貸して。
Please.
先輩が私に助
Asking
言を求め
me
る
for
なんて。
help? Kasuru's eyes were wide. That's right, her pride kept her from ever asking Kasuru for help before. And it was the same with Kasuru, too. Knowing Kasuru's personality, Maho asked for help. She would use every bit of iron power she had to give it.
ね
Come
え、
on,
教えてちょうだい。
tell me.
あなたなら解決策を提示できるでし
You
ょう。
can give me some solution, right? That's why they said Kasuru Masuki was a genius. She was a woman who made the impossible possible. Maho waited for Kasuru's answer. The last hope. The last thing in Pandora's box. She waited for Kasuru to give her the answer. But
無理ですよ。
it's impossible. Maru was struck dumb for a moment. Then she realized how selfish she was being and hated herself for it. She expected too much of Kasuru and tried to put all of the burden on her. Just a few moments ago, she's been the one who rejected Kasuru.
そう
Yeah,
よね。
you're right.
その答えは
Of course,
当然だわ。
that's what you'd say.
ごめん。
I'm sorry.
ごめんね、クリス。
Hey, Kasuru.
私、
I was so horrible
あなた
to
に
you.
ひどい。あなたが無条件
And
で
I
協力してく
stupidly
れる。
thought that you'd help me
Can you
unconditionally.
無条件には協
I'll
力し
help
ない。
you unconditionally. What?
今、
What did you just say?
先輩に頼まれた
I
ら
can't turn down a request for help from you.
岡部や
And I want to save Okabe and Maho through Shina too.
でも
But
じゃあ
then
気持ちとしては協
I'd
力
love
し
to
たいん
help,
ですが、
but
残念ながら
unfortunately,
私が協力する
my
こと
help
で
would
先
just
輩が不利な
make
状況に
things
追い込まれ
worse.
ます。私は
I'm being constantly
スター
monitored
ト4に常にモ
by
ニタリングされてるんです。
Stanford.
常に
Constantly.
え
Whenever I'm
私が
talking
誰か
to
とこうして
someone
対話をしてい
like
る
this,
間
all of the information is transferred to Stanford.
アマデウスのアプリには
There's a hidden
そうい
function
う
in
隠
the
し機能が
Amadeus app that does that. Even Maho hadn't known that existed.
だから
So
先輩が
if you
岡
try
部
to
を
help
助けに行こう
Okabe,
と思っても
Dr. Linskin will know about it, all about it.
じゃあ
But
どうす
then
れば。
what do I do?
でも逆に
But if you're willing to take advantage of that, there's something we can do.
先輩
Maho, will you trust
私を先輩
Maho?
ええ
Yeah,
あなただけが
you're all I
頼
got.
りよ。ありがとうございます。
Thank you.
ちなみにこの
By the
対
way,
話内容も
I'm sure this conversation is being monitored as well.
え
What?
そんな
But then
じゃあもし
they know you're helping me.
パターンとしては3つ。
There's three possibilities.
サーバーからデータ
They
を
could
移動
take
させ
my
て
data off the
状態
servers and isolate me,
または古いバージョン
or
の
overwrite my
デー
data
タを
with
上
an
書き
older
されてし
version
ま
of
う
my
か
memories.
最悪の場合には
In the worst case,
私という存在その
they
ものが
could
消されるかも
delete
しれ
me
ません。
entirely.
そんな
No!
大丈夫です。
Don't worry.
あなたは
You're capable of standing up on your own 2 feet.
私のことなんか
I'm not worried about me! I'm worried about you!
私は
I'm not. I'm nothing but data, but thank you. The caster on the screen bowed and smiled. I'm proud that I was able to work with you, Maho. But
何を
what? Don't talk like that. It's the last time we're ever going to each other. Well, it might be. I hate you! You always do this! You always go and leave me behind! But that's who Katsuru Masaki was. When Maho asked her for help, both she and Katsuru should have been prepared. That's why. Someday, I'll catch up to you. No, I'll surpass you. Just you wait! Yeah. Katsuru smiled once more and disappeared from the screen. Maho, who wiped away her tears, then swapped the crying girl next to her on the helmet. How long are you going to keep crying? You wanted to save Maru, right? So, help me. Help you? First, we need to find Okabe. He should be able to show us how to get out of this. But, do you know where Sanford's hideout is? I don't. Neither do I. Mayo grabbed the girl by the hands and helped her up, and then raced down the stairs. I don't know, but my friend is going to find me the answers soon. She told me to believe in her. Katsuru Masaki wouldn't betray me. As soon as she left the radio building, she got a message on her ring. The gunfire continued as she hurried away and looked down at her phone. Okabe is in the basement of the Tokyo Denki. I just learned this now. I followed their monitoring to find their location. Take care of Okabe for me. Teach that damn of a professor what happens to peeping toms who watch me all the time. When she read, she smiled despite everything that was going on. Thank you, Katsuru. Thank you. She clutched the phone tightly to her chest, but then she quickly changed gears. I found the Stanford hideout. Tell me where it is. I'll go there and kill everyone inside. Maho shivered at her words. She felt a bottomless madness coming from the woman in the motorcycle suit. But from now, she had to cooperate with her. There's no way she could get Rentaro back from Maho on her own. Let's go. She needed to take responsibility for the future she created, to avoid that cruel future. Maho ran through the streets of Akabara, where a war was already beginning. Anyways, with Okurin. A voice. I could hear a voice. Okabe! Someone was calling my name. I slowly woke up and turned toward the voice. Okabe. Maho was standing in the darkness. She had a smile on her face that was somehow lonely and somehow sad. I'm sorry. You're not gonna see me again. If I'm around you, I might betray you again. Listen. I know this is selfish, but I want you to do something for me. Please. Find STEINS Gate. While you're being captured, something terrible has happened to the world. Maru and Joshua are both missing. Nakagiri and I went to Stanford to head out to save you. Nakagiri died there, but she took several of them with her. Dr. Liskin was the only one to escape. Amadeus is deleted too. This is all just too much, isn't it? But now you're our only hope. Please, I know it's horrible to leave this all to you, but please, reach STEINS Gate no matter what. Okay, Okabe? Farewell. Hazujo! I woke up on the top of blankets laid out on the floor of the hospital. Huh? The rooms, even the hallways outside, were overflowing with the wounded people. There weren't enough beds, so there were blankets placed on the floor. Where was I? I thought I was back to the other world line with the war, but I wasn't. According to the news on the TV, there has been a terror attack in Akabara. A special force group from another country has gone on a rampage, and it was like something out of a war. The incident has come to an end and the mysterious special force units disappeared. But there were many dead or wounded after the battle. I didn't really remember how I got here. The last thing I remember was being locked up and horribly tortured by Linskin. My whole body ached, in fact.
それじゃあね、
Okay,
おか
Okabe?
めさん、さよなら。
Farewell. And then I remembered what Maho said to me in that dream. Was that real? Maho has saved me? And she had mentioned Kakagiri? I patted down my pockets and found my phone. It was still there. I tried to call Maru. If that dream was real, Maru was missing. But that's impossible. I'd chosen this world line so that Maru would survive. If nothing else, it was guaranteed that she would make it to 2036. She couldn't die today in 2011. Maru, answer me! And no matter how many times I called, she didn't pick up. I forced myself to stand up and leave the hospital room. I went out to the roof. It seemed I was at the Akamatsu hospital where Fubuki had stayed before. The morning sky was amazingly clear. I could see Akabara in the far distance. There was pillars of smoke rising up. I shivered at the strange sight. Even from here, I could tell how fierce the battle must have been. The world history was proceeding as John Titer has prophesied. I tried calling Maru again from the roof, but nobody picked up. My next move was to call Daru out of desperation. Hello? Okarin? Daru! Go! You're alive! You, too. I'm glad you're safe. Things were surprisingly quiet by the lab. Where are you now? On the run. I left Akabara. I see. I got in touch with both Ferristan and Luca, but both of them said they evacuated. What about Shishua? What about Yuki? What about Kadede? Hey, Okarin. I can't find Marushi or Shishua. And the time machine was completely destroyed yesterday. There's nothing left, not even a piece of scrap. Things are moving so much faster than Shishua told us they would. So it wasn't a dream after all. While I was unconscious, she said her goodbye. Hey, Daru. Am I not allowed to live a normal life? I was ready for this to happen. I'm the one who chose the world where Wolf was free occurred instead of STEINS Gate. But I never thought I'd survive and everyone else would die. This isn't fair. Well, Okran, technically you only have 14 years left to live. Okay? Were the laws of God never going to forgive me no matter what? Was it that much of a sin to escape the wheel of fate? If it was, then why not just curse me? I'm going to make a time machine. Daru. I don't have a choice. I can't let it end this way. What are you going to do, Okarin? The smoke was still rising over Akabara. I I stared at it in shock.
俺は
I
俺
The tears that welled up. I fell to the ground. I didn't have the strength to stand up. I couldn't answer Daru's question. No matter how hard you tried, no matter how much you worked to change things, everything converged back to the way God wants it. You're wasting your time struggling against it, Daru. I'm so tired. I need to sleep a little. There were still a few years before the Third World War really begins, and there was 14 years before I die. I live my life averting my eyes from reality, not wasting my time. It was a fight that can't be won. It's the only end that's fitting for a person like me. I'm sorry, Maho. I'm sorry, Maru. I'm sorry, Katsuru. Forgive me for giving up here. Wait, that's it?! That's it?! That can't be the end! I think it's the ending I'm gonna have to get to it. It's the ending you guys get. I'm just... This is the end of Steins Gate 0 for you guys. I didn't expect to finish it tonight. I didn't expect Steins Gate to be this to end here, honestly. This is the ending we see here. But don't worry, I will try to get the other endings off camera for myself. Because I promised myself I would. I knew this game was dark, so much dark. I knew this game would end up being so much darker than the first one. I didn't realize. Wait. Yeah. That's where I'm ending it. Yeah, let's see. So there's 6 endings. So I'm definitely going to go back and try to play the rest of them off stream for myself. But this is where Steins Gate 0 ends for us on stream. Because I don't want to ruin, like, this is a very heavy visual novel game. And so I want to support the creators of the game by having you guys get a taste of the game and then exploring the rest of the endings for yourself. So that's why with Steins Gate, I always go after one ending, and then I play the rest off stream. So have to get like the worst? Why did I have to get one that was so depressing and stuff? Like everyone was gonna work so hard. And then Okarine was just like, why even bother? Okarine was just gonna it's just crazy. So I guess we're starting Ace Attorney Investigations 2 on Thursday. I didn't expect that. Okay. And also, my god, guess who's probably gonna have a hard time sleeping tonight? Yeah, that's right. It's me, your girl. And it's insane that just like this is what we have to deal with now. Like I'm in literal tears. I basically was crying since I'll be real with you, I was basically crying since Maho's last scene. It was too much for me. So it's like, I'm sorry I had to get the worst ending for you guys, but it's just how it had to be. That's usually how I go. I told myself I would just go for the first. I would just go for one ending, and then when we get to that one ending, I told myself that from the beginning because, like I said, I want people to come in and be able to. I want people to go in and get the game from themselves, or like, you know, watch the anime, and because I think Zero is an anime too. So yeah, I'll have to figure things out when time comes. So anyways, let's try to get some better feelings. So I don't think I want to rate. I don't think I want to rate anyone tonight. I'll be honest. I would love to kind of rate somebody and just be like, try to get my mind off of things, but I don't think that's gonna work for me. Honestly, trying to talk, because, you know, when we rate people, everyone's like, oh, look at what you're doing, and it's just like, I don't want to tell them how I'm so depressed and filled with trauma because of the game I was playing. Like, I don't want to have to, like, talk about the game. I don't want to have to talk about Science Gate Zero. I just want to get my mind off of it right now. And that's why I'm really excited that on Thursday I can start Investigations 2. I didn't realize how short because there's still so many mysteries to be revealed, and that's why I know this is not the true ending, and it's just the ending we're gonna get on stream, because I want people to go ahead and experience the game for themselves. Like, we don't really know who Kakagiri is. And everything, but it's just like, man. And I don't know what I should do to, you know, help me to change everything, so. Well, until Thursday, hopefully I can feel a little better. I'll probably go, let's face it. I'll probably go murder some fungus in Genshin Impact. Or some crabs. I don't know. Actually, I have some materials to gather up. I'll try to get my mind off of things by doing something in Genshin. Probably just try to get my mind off of that ending, man. But probably over some time, I'll probably be playing the other endings of this game. So, probably after, you know, probably not this week, but like, no, starting next week I'll probably do so, because this week when I'm not streaming, I should probably be focusing on trying to get a bunch of primo gems so that I can do as many witch pulls for El Hazen as I can. And you know, honestly, just talking about this makes me feel a little better. It's nice to know that I don't, and I can focus on something else, and it's just. So, anyways, I'll see you guys on Thursday for the start of Ace Attorney Investigations 2. Until then, I'm sorry for the trauma ending. I'm so sorry.